Hey everybody, it's Ben. Karen's taking the night off tonight, so it's just me. Um, let's see. Man, it's tough to type stuff in the chat. Mubak gets mad. So I was going to look at games I played in the 90s, but as I was doing it, it turned out the games were from 1990, and I had many of them that I liked. So I just changed the name of the title of this stream, My Best from 1990. This would be a good theme. I could do this like once a week. Best games from 1990, best games from 91. And these games are pretty good because I was good in 1990, unlike now. And then throughout the 90s, I got better. So every year the games will get better. But I was already pretty good in 1990 because, I was 20 or 21 years old, depending on the month. I think these games were all played when I was 90. Well, Groningen was in December, so this was the end of the year. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, I was black this game, so... Okay, this is from Groningen, and what's funny about the first two games is they were played one after the other. This is round one of the tournament, and the next game I'm going to show you is from round two. So that's interesting. These are games that I won. At 25, I was quite good. Yeah, I'm about 150 FIDE points worse than my best, and I'm almost 200 points US chess worse than my USCF rating. So I used to be good. Although I feel pretty good about my 2800 on chess.com because I watched about the first hour of the C Squared podcast where Kramnik says basically everybody who's FIDE 2300 to 2600 is just cheating on chess.com if they have a high rating. And he was explaining how often people play in the 90s. And obviously my results are skewed because my opponents are typically 1200. So if I'm playing on sub Saturday or sub Sunday, it's very easy to play in the 90s because my opponent's moves are all bad. So I have 4 winning moves and I play one of them. So I often play in the 90s. But if I was playing the top 20 players in the world, then I would almost never play in the 90s, ever, in Blitz chess, because they would cause me all sorts of problems. And he was explaining there's a lot of grandmasters and IMs whose FIDE rating is 2400, 2500, and they're playing in the 90s all the time in Title Tuesday against the best players. And he said in the World Blitz Championship, they have every year with all the best players in the world. Nobody who's 2400, 2500 FIDE, IMs and GMs, ever finishes in the top 10. It never happens. In the World Blitz Championship, the one that's in real life. But online, it happens every tournament. Every tournament, some IM or low-rated GM finishes in the top 10 in Title Tuesday, often in the top 3. And he's like, how come online these low-rated players are great, but in real life, they're not? And, well, there's an obvious reason for that. There's a lot of cheating online. And the problem chess.com has is when they accuse you of cheating and kick you off, that's because you cheated. It's not 90% you cheated. It's not even 95% you cheated. It's more. So if you talk to the chess.com people who run chess.com and they agreed it was 85% somebody was cheating, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't kick him off because there's a 15% chance he's not cheating. So that's not good enough for them. So when they kick you off, you're cheating. But there's a lot of people who are cheating. They don't kick off because they're not sure. They're relatively sure, but they're not sure. So I don't know if I like that policy. Kramnik doesn't. Kramnik's if you're 80, 85% sure, just kick them out. Truth hurts. I don't know if I agree with that. But it's true in live tournaments, there's very few instances of low-rated players kicking ass. There's some, but there's very few. In Title Tuesday, there's always Rufus and Doofus in the top 10, like always. There's always some guy, and you're like, who's that? Like Nakamura's first, Carlson's second, Feruz's third, and then some IM with a FIDE rating of 2450 is fourth. And we're like, what? What's happening? And then fifth is Grishuk, and sixth is Kramnik, and seventh is Caruana. What? And you guys are just like, yeah, they're good at blitz. You can't accuse somebody of cheating if you're not sure. I mean, things that happen 0% of the time when you're not online happen every time you're online. So, I mean, those guys are cheating. Sorry. So that actually made me feel really good about my 2,800 rating, because if Kramnik was here, he would say like people between 2,800 and 3,100 whose FIDE ratings are 23, 24, 2,500, just all cheaters. I'm not high enough rated where he would say I was a cheater. But with my FIDE rating, if I was 3,000, he would just think I'm a cheater. Although that would be true. I can't get to 3,000. He's right. Yeah, truth hurts. So watching the first hour of that podcast made me very proud to be 2,800 because I never cheat. It's funny. I have a reasonable record against Gotham Chess when I play them on chess.com. Maybe I have like 6 out of 8 or something lifetime. I guess you guys can check that. I don't know how to check that, but since there's 100 people in the chat, at least 4 of you know how to check that. My lifetime score against Gotham Chess. And Trying to Learn one said, I guess everybody's cheating because Gotham Chess isn't cheating and you're not cheating and you beat Gotham Chess all the time. But when I play other people who we've never heard of, they beat me like a drum. And then I complain about it, but nothing happens. Yeah. Kramnik is a doofus, but he's not wrong about people cheating. There's money in Title Tuesday. If you come in the top 3 or 4, you get cash. But he's right. Like, if you're coming in the top 5 in Title Tuesday and you're an IM, you're probably cheating. Sorry. And the IM who used to do that a lot wasn't really an IM. He was GM, but he didn't have a GM title. And he's a very good GM. Whatever that guy's name is. The Asian guy. The guy who's really good. But he was always killing it in Title Tuesday, and he was an IM. Yeah, Min Lee. Yeah, or Min Lei. Min Lei is good. He's a good player. I saw him play in the World Open, and he beat GMs every round. He got his last GM norm at the World Open, by the way, in 2021, I think. Unless it was 2022. It was one of them. I guess it was 2022. Yeah, but he only accused half the people of cheating. He didn't accuse... Kamsky accused 80% of cheating. Yeah, people cheat a lot. That's what they do. People cheat at everything. Kramnik spent a lot of time trying to find out who was cheating. He had strange statistics that weren't mathematically sound, but they sounded good. And he's really tall and has a really deep voice, so he's very authoritative. The thing is, even though certain players like Kramnik and Kamsky accuse everyone of cheating, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. They're probably wrong, but they're not definitely wrong. It's somewhere in the middle. There's people cheating and they don't get caught. And not everybody's cheating, but a lot of people are. And a lot of people are thrown off of chess.com. Thousands and thousands of accounts Hundreds and hundreds of IMs and GMs have been punished by chess.com. The cheaters could be taller than him, but not likely. That's good math, Theo Sec. Do I think there's less cheaters in Elite Chess? No. Percentage-wise of number of players, the amount of cheaters is going to be the same. Now, the reason you could argue people cheat less on Elite Chess, which is actually, they made this argument on the podcast, was those sites have very few tournaments with lots of money, and chess.com has lots of them. Chess.com's got tournaments on Tuesday and Wednesday. They have all these big tournaments with huge prizes. So, I mean, if you're like me, strength-wise, and you're like, hey, I'll cheat, then if I cheated, I would win prizes in Title Tuesday and Arena Kings, and I may or may not get caught. Probably I would get caught because I'm so old. So they would say, he's not good at Blitz, he's old, and he's probably cheating. Whereas if I was 25 years old, they're like, man, these kids are all good. All these 20-year-olds are crushing everybody. Also, I'd have to cheat really good. I'd have to make sure I only played a few computer moves a game. I'd have to play like 100 or 200 points better than my rating, not 600 points better than my rating. Probably playing 100 or 200 points better than my rating I wouldn't win Title Tuesday. I'd have to play like 500 points better than my rating. Then I win Title Tuesday. That would be sort of easy to find, I guess. He blamed the sun for being in his eyes? Well, maybe. It's not easy to prevent cheating because, for example, randomly 2 moves a game, I could just look at an engine and see what the engine move is and then play it. If I did that 2 moves a game when I felt like it, I'd probably be about 70 points better. So you wouldn't really see a big difference. None of my moves would be computer moves, just the normal amount. That's not enough cheating for me to win prizes, but I'm still cheating. I'm just cheating a little. I wouldn't get caught doing that. The people who get caught are people who have the engine play for them. Then they make these engines that try to play more like humans. The modified engine, but still will win the game. So those are harder to catch. But if you're just like a dumb cheater, you just have your engine play every move and your engine set to the highest level, so you're winning every game. Unless you're Carlsen or Nakamura, then you're not going to get away with it. Carlsen and Nakamura could probably cheat every game the rest of their lives on chess.com and not get caught. Nobody would think that they're cheating because they wouldn't cheat. But if they did cheat, who's going to say, oh, Carlsen played too good? Carlsen won the tournament, I'm shocked. So if they wanted to cheat, they would be the least likely to get caught. But if I played in Title Tuesday and I went 11-0, it's very suspicious. Very suspicious. Anyway, these games were played before people cheated. They cheated the old-fashioned way. If there was a low-rated player playing like in the World Open, he would ask his grandmaster friend what moves to make. That's the old-fashioned way of cheating. Grandmaster gives him 6 or 7 moves a game. That's pretty good. Or if they give them every move, that's also good. Okay, so my first game is against Kai-Uwe Schiffer. And by the way, this is the first time I've used the sand chessboard. I thought it was close to my shirt. Probably not. These games were all played in 1990. This was played in Groningen. This was round 1. And what I try to sell this game is that my opponent was playing for a draw, and that's why he lost. I've been giving that spiel for years. In fact, for 33 years. But maybe he wasn't playing for a draw. Maybe he was just playing the best moves he could find, and they happened to be boring. I don't know. Okay, so I'm black. This is the opening I play all the time with black, G6, and this kind of Slav with E3. You can get this position by many different move orders. This is a little unusual. Okay, so typically white plays bishop E2 or bishop D3. He played CD, which I've also faced. I lost a very tough game to Azoria, and also, I think, to Kashishvili. Not the one who's married to Sofia Polgar, the other one. Not Yona Koshishvili, Georgi Kashishvili. Spelled differently, too. Probably knight c6 is a better move, but like bishop d7 is the book move. So I've had this ending before. And white's a little better because black's knight is really stupid on a6. In fact, this engine says I'm down 0.8. That's pretty bad. Okay, so he played bishop d2. I played knight e4. The engine wants him to play knight d3, but he played f3, which you should never play. Now it says it's about equal. And this should just be a draw. Nobody really has an advantage here. The engine says I'm slightly better now. He traded a little too much. But still should be a draw. A5 is correct. And this is still a draw. This is still a draw. Okay, now in this position, my opponent has one move that draws, and it looks really dumb. It looks like it loses. So I think if I was white and I was playing a better player, I would lose this game. Because I don't think I would play the drawing move. I can't imagine myself playing it. It just looks really dumb. So what's the only move that draws for white? Let's see, you guys can guess. Well, A3 is dumber than usual because I take on B3. A3 is like losing on purpose. Bonarici got it. Yeah, F takes G5 is a draw. It's the only move that draws. So then I assumed that I'd be winning here because I have a passed pawn and he doesn't. And the engine says I'm not winning. It says this is a draw. And the way to draw looks really lost. After here, he has to play H4. And after here, he has to play King F2. I'm supposed to believe this is a draw? I still don't believe it's a draw. It is, but it's hard for me to believe. I've looked at this for 30 years. And every time it says this is a draw, I'm like, how can this be a draw? I play E3 and I take this. How could it ever be a draw? I still don't know why it's a draw. Okay, so I'll play E5. I'll play like a computer. Computer says every move draws. It says A3 draws, A4 draws, King G2 draws. Man, truth hurts. Oh, I remember why this is a draw now. What you do is you give away your H pawn and you play king here. Yeah, so for example, you play A4 and you just do nothing. Eventually, black will take this because there's no other way to win. Then you go here and it's a draw. You just keep following them up the board. And if you ever play H6, then I guess you're losing. Then you lose. That was the only way for him to draw, was to get to a position that looks completely lost, and it's completely drawn. Yeah, I look at this game every few years, and I'm like, how the hell does that draw? Terrible. Let's see. F6 also loses. Yeah. Okay, so my opponent played rook takes b4, which does lose. Okay, so one of these wins and one of these moves draws. Let's see if the chat can get it right. Which move wins? CB or AB? One of them wins and one draws. 50-50 is right. I would just play CB and hope. Well, you could calculate. In this position, I calculated to the end of the game plus more, but he resigned, so we didn't have to play the more. So this game ended in 15 moves, and I calculated that plus continuing, which didn't happen. Because this was 1990 when I was good. Yay. Okay, so AB is correct. Okay, and he's lost now. Doesn't matter what he does. He played king e3, and I played c4. And he doesn't want me to play c3, because then he'd be PO'd. So he played here, here. Now he doesn't want me to play king here, king here, king here. So he plays king d2. Okay, now when I calculated this, I said, well, I'm going to go here. So he's got to go here. He has to, because I get counterplay. Okay, and then in this position, I knew he had to play one move. Otherwise, it was 100% I'd win. What's the only move white can play where it's not 100% black wins? Any other move, it's 100%. I didn't calculate that much because it was nothing to calculate. All your moves are ridiculous in the chat. L Fishy got it. Right, king c5. If you don't play king c5 and you play any other move, I go here. And that's just, I have two connected passed pawns, so I win. King b5, I queen would check before you queen. So that's also bad. Okay, so I calculated this. And I knew if I traded queens, I would win. And if I don't trade queens, I probably don't win. But I figured I could trade queens by force with this move. Now, his king can never go to this diagonal because I have a skewer. He played the move king b5. If he plays king b4, which he didn't do, I check. Now if he goes to the A file, I skewer. If he goes to the B file, I fork his king and queen, and I win the king and pawn endgame. And king c4 is the same, but quicker. So he played king b5, and I checked. And once again, if he goes to the A file, I have a skewer. If he goes to c6, I have a skewer. If he goes here or here, I check, and then I check on d5 and trade queens and win. So he resigned here. That was one of my better end games, because he didn't do much wrong, but he did play rook takes b4, which lost. He had to take on g5, then the game would have been fine. Wouldn't have been any mistakes in the game. And so forth. Hopefully you guys understand all of that. Remember, I said hopefully. The engine says made in 19. Truth hurts. Okay, next game. Somebody do a marker for each game so we can get some videos out of this. Okay, so twice in my life, I've played Maurice Ashley in slow tournaments. This was in 1990. I played him another game. I don't remember what year it was, in the New York Open, and I lost. But I don't remember anything about that game. I don't know what color I had. I don't know what the opening was. I just know I lost. Or I imagined that game. That's also possible. Usually I don't make up games that I lost. So I'm pretty sure I lost them at the New York Open. Yes, I did announce me to 19. Okay, so this is against Maurice. This was a badly played game where I won in an end game, but I haven't looked at the game forever. I haven't looked at this game in many years. So I don't even know what. It was a Queen C2 Nimza. I remember that. I used to play Bishop G5 exclusively in this position, and I was the only player in the world who played that. Everybody else played A3, E4, and Knight F3. Now I mainly just play Knight F3. Yeah, this is the antidote, what he's doing. This is quite good for black. Okay, Bishop E7 is unnecessary. Yeah, he should just play D5 or B6 or G5. Now probably white's slightly better. E3 is no good. Yeah, this is just completely equal. Yeah, let him take on F3, which is okay, and he did. My king's not really, in trouble, but I have the two bishops. So far, the engine sort of likes this game. It says it's about equal every move. Is bishop takes the best move? Yeah, it says bishop takes is the best move. It says bishop G3 is okay also. It just says this is equal. It doesn't like that move. It wants him to play either queen e6 or knight c4. It doesn't want him to give up a pawn like this. Now it says I'm better. It doesn't like that move. It wants me to play knight e3. Now it says it's equal again. I guess knight e3 shuts his knight out. And knight b7 is terrible. Rook g3 is also bad. I should have played h4. Yeah, we're not playing very well. My last three moves have been good. Doesn't like d5 and wants me to play rook h3. It says this is equal to. Yeah, it says this ending is a draw. Let's see where he made the losing move. It says this is always a draw. It says this ending's a draw too. Well, it doesn't like that move. It doesn't like king d7. Wants him to play knight f5, threatening knight here check. And then I guess get his king to d6 later. Or he can put his knight over here. And that says put his knight over here. Wow, that's crazy. I guess to play knight here and take this pawn. Yeah, the way that he can draw this game looks really dumb. So I don't blame him for playing king d7. Yeah, now it says I'm close to winning. f6 is a mistake. Shocking. King d3 is a mistake. Knight g7 is a mistake. Wants him to play knight h4. Now it says I'm winning for sure. Yeah, it looks like a6 is a mistake. He's losing here, but this is extra losing. Because now I get the c5 square. So he shouldn't have played a6. Should have kept his pawn on a7. Well, I played f3. Is that the best move? Yeah, f3 is the best move. Stopping knight e4 check. And after d6, he resigned. Because he either has to let me queen or let me take his a pawn. He can't win my b pawn. And his pawns are all hanging. It says I'm plus 37. Now 39. Now 40. Now it's mate in 29. Mate in 24. Yay, I'm winning. Mate in 21. My opponents always resign when it's around mate in 20. Now it says mate in 20. Mate in 18. Wow. My position gets better and better every move. So that was sort of a boring game where he was down a pawn but equal, but eventually my extra pawn was winning. Man, we didn't play very well that game. I see mate in 16. Well, I got 17. I'm at death 54. Probably there is 16. King D8 exclam. King B7 is mate in 15. Yeah, now I got 15, but King B7 and King D8 are both mate in 15. It's hard to believe it's mate in 15. I'm a pawn up in a knight endgame. Well, I guess I'm 2 pawns up. But still. Now it's mate in 15. All right, that wasn't a great game. Here's one of my favorite games from the 90s, especially 1990. We were both IMs this game, and our ratings were about the same. So played G6, I think. Yeah, this is the same opening as my first game, except I'm white. And my opponent, Kai-Uwe Schiffer, played C takes D5. This is game 3, so somebody put a marker. Hi, Starson. And don't forget to donate 100 subs, 200 subs, 500 subs, 10,000 bits, etc. Don't forget all that stuff. We need a marker. Who's putting a marker? Game 3, marker? Anybody? No? Man, tough crowd. Hi, Tom Rocks. Bonarici trying to put a marker for. Okay. So I played bishop d3, castles, h3, stopping bishop g4, c5. He's trying to take advantage of my weak h3 to play a tempo down Grunfeld, because that's my tempo. So he's right. So this game is sort of boring too, but it gets exciting. It says white's clearly better here. Likes queen c1. Likes rook e1. I never knew this, but it says I'm winning immediately here. It says rook e5 wins. Obviously, he has to take my rook because his queen's hanging. Then knight takes. Now I'm threatening bishop f6, which ends the game. So he has to play f6. Then I take it. Then he has to take it. Then I check. Then he has to go here. I agree with that. Takes. And now it doesn't take my knight. But that's the only move interesting to me. Rook e1, and I'm winning down a piece. Because I'm threatening this, and I can go here and here and here. Wow. King e7 here. Then I win my piece back. Man, even now this looks difficult to understand. So rook e5 was winning if like two engines are playing. That's pretty good. Okay, so I played bishop f4. b6, that's legal. a4 is good. Rook e8's good. Bishop h6 is good. f6 is the best move. Terrible. This is all equal, it says. Knight h4 is a good move, it says. Yeah, I played this d5 pawn sacrifice later, but it wants me to play it now. But I played queen f4 first. Now it says it's equal again. Now I sacrifice the exchange with rook e3. And it says he can take here, but it actually prefers his move. He played king h8. That's the best move according to the computer. Then he played knight e4, which is also the best move. And now I played d5, which the computer says is a mistake. So obviously I want him to take with a pawn, so I could take on f5. So he takes with the queen. Then I play queen h6. So I got his queen off of here. And now in this position, he played a move where he played a bad move. Queen d2 is the best move, and queen d7 is the second best move. But he played queen d8. Obviously, he was worried I would like take his knight and play queen f6 check. Doesn't seem like that gets me anywhere. Now I played knight g6. He played the only legal move. And it says this is equal to. Rook c7 is fine. Rook e1 is fine. Okay, e5 is a mistake. It says he's close to losing now. It says like every normal move is equal. Rook g7, queen d2, rook f7. But e5 it says is a blunder. Now I play rook d3, threatening his queen. And if he plays queen e7, I guess I can play knight d5. Let me see. Is knight d5 the right move? Yeah, how do I win after queen g7? Queen h5, threatening this rook and this rook. Okay, so he plays... Oh, and I'm also threatening rook takes e4 and rook g3. I have a lot of threats here. Okay, so he didn't do that. He played rook d7. And I played knight h5, which is the best move. He played rook e6. I played rook e d1, which is one of many moves that wins. He played rook e7. And now I played a nice winning tactic. According to the engine, it's the only way to win. If I don't play the winning line, I don't win. White to play and win. Let's see who can solve it. Who's this guy? I'm Ben Feingold. The dog's giving an answer from upstairs, but I can't understand it. Did you guys watch the exciting Wesley So Ali Reza Fallujah match today? I was watching it when the 3 minutes started, so I must have been bad luck for Wesley. But he ended up winning anyway. Never play f3. I don't understand the move f3. f3, rook takes d3. What? Knight takes f6. It says that's equal. My engine says all zeros. Rook takes d7 over and over, and then knight f6. Well, then he would play knight f6, and that would be a drawn queen and pawn ending with equal pawns. Queen takes f6. That looks like it hangs a queen. So no. Yeah, a couple people gave the right answer. Yay, it's our first donation today from GM Smurfette. 1 bit. Hooray. Thanks for the support. There's been a couple of right answers in the chat. So I play rook takes d7, rook takes d7, and then you will know my name is the Lord when I play queen g7 check. Then he resigned. Thanks for another bit. Now you've given twice as much. Okay, so now, when you say never play f3, you mean in the opening, right? It's so clear when I say never play f3. And people are like, you mean f4? You played f4. Ben doesn't say to play that. No, I don't. What? Never play f3. It's easy to understand. Never play f3. And with black, never play f6. That's the rule. You don't have to say like, well, let's analyze that rule. There's nothing to analyze. I don't get it. Yeah, that's right. Yay, GM Smurfette tripling his donation. Okay, so if he takes, this is important. I don't play knight takes rook here, which does win. I play rook here check. That wins a whole rook. That's better. It was fun playing queen g7 check. I remember it well. No, I don't remember. I can't drink because it's covered. Why am I covering my water? I guess I should spill my drink in a few minutes and then you'll know why I cover my water. Never play pawn to king bishop 3 is correct. I told Morphy that several times. Or maybe that was Yasser who told Morphy. Okay, marker for the next game. So Andrew Whiteley was always old, but he was especially old this game. This was played in Capella Grand, one of the first ones. Marker next game. Very good. Okay, I'm black in the Albin counter gambit. We're both IMs at this point. Used to play the Albin counter a lot. I always played bishop e6. Bishop g4 is the older move. I think they play knight e7 now. So I had this position a lot. I had a book by Paul Lamford on the Albin that was written in the 80s. So I like memorized everything in the book and I just did what the book said. And this was a position in the book. Okay, in the book, the main line was h4, knight h6. But he played here, so now I was out of my prep. But I figured, you know, I could take a pawn, so I'll take my pawn back. Yeah, that's a little slow for an Albin counter. Not a big fan of that. Okay, so I play h4 because he didn't play h4. Now, he took with the bishop, but he stayed with the e-pawn. That's better. And he played rook e1, which he has to do. So I don't really have a mating attack here. Just plays king f1. And he has the two bishops. I played knight f6. Queen d3 is the best move. Bishop b4 is the best move. And now he made the losing move. He only has one move where it says it's still about equal, and that's rook d1. Obviously, you'd want to have black here because my king is safe and his isn't. Thanks, Smurfette. You're my only donor today. Yay. Go Smurfette. I might make 10 cents today if I play my cards right. Okay, so he played bishop d2, which loses. I took, he took, played knight g4. Now the idea is I want to play knight e5. And right now, I'd like to play queen check and queen takes pawn mate. Okay, so he played bishop takes, which the engine really hates. Now he played queen d3, which the engine also hates. I played rook d6 to double on the h-file. He played queen f3. I traded queens and won the endgame. No, I'm just kidding. Queen h3, not a big threat yet. And this is a position I used to show my students. I mean, I have students again, so I can still show them. But this is one of my positions that I would show to students who were like between 1,000 and 2,000. Which is all of you guys. Was queen h1 not mate? Yes, it was not mate. That's correct. Very good. Yeah, queens go backwards. Yay, go Smurfette. If you guys want to donate too, you can. You don't have to just let Smurfette do it. Yay, Xenoid, 400 bits. CL Smith is banned for his terrible move. CL Smith, when it's a puzzle, you're always right. When it's one of my games, you're right less often. I like this move a lot. So, I've shown this before, obviously, but CL Smith doesn't, I guess, wasn't there. Queen H1 earlier. All right, let's go back to when Queen H1 was legal. Okay, Queen here. Okay, Queen H1 isn't mate because his bishop takes it. His bishop still takes it. Oh, here. Yeah, I'm in check. Yeah, that's why it's not mate, because it's illegal. That must have been when you thought it was mate. I get that a lot. People ask me why I don't mate people in blitz games. It's because I'm in check. That's very common. And then, okay. So there you go. Tonkan with the typo, making his answer look silly. Thanks, Smurfette. Right, so Queen H7, then you play Rook H6, and then it's over. If you had the Queen on H5 and played Rook H6, this isn't actually a threat. That just trades queens. But now, Rook H1 is a serious threat. Okay, he played G4, and the idea of G4 is to play Queen G3, so when I play Rook H1, he can play King G2. Reasonable. Now I have mate in 10, and I played the first move of the mate in 10. Thanks, Floyd in Space, for the sub. What are you going to be for Halloween? I'll be a washed-up GM, just like I am now. Delp is always correct. Rook H3. Now if he goes to G2, then this is pretty matey. And if he doesn't go to G2, like here, for example, then Queen H3 is mate. And if he stops Queen H3, well, he can't go on the third rank because my rook takes his queen. So basically, it's queen here or queen here. So the engine says he should go here. That's not good. So after Rook H3, he resigned. I like that Albin counter because I attacked the whole game. I had the H file, and my king never got attacked. So that was fun. Yay, chess dust. He can't pay attention to the chess because he's on that dust. Thanks, GM Smurfette. Keep giving 1 bit. Eventually, it'll be some amount. Go Hype Train. Okay, next game. This is the game where my opponent put his head down and shook his head, and then he quit chess and became a lawyer. Truth hurts. The reason you've never heard of Ferdinand Hellers is after this tournament where he lost to me, he quit chess and became a lawyer. That's why you've never heard of him. He was a grandmaster in 1990. I was not. Yay, GM Smurfette. I don't know what his income is. Maybe he's retired. This game was played 33 years ago. Did I get a marker for this game? Do I have any mods here that aren't trying to learn? Is he the only mod here? Oh, Tensor Extension's here. Okay. So you guys just don't put markers. I have to beg you every time. I mean, good job, guys. Someone did a marker. Bonarici, you can't do a marker. You're a nobody. Boo, boo. Okay. So I'm black. And I have a funny story about this game, which I've told many times. So when I lived in Belgium, which I did during this game, my good friend Luke Winans, who passed away last year, he played this with black, and we used to look at it. He knew everything, and he taught me, basically. And so I played in this tournament in Reykjavik, and he played a tournament in Lyon. It was a zonal tournament. He represented Belgium. And we got home at the same time. Like, I got home and I called him, and he said, I just walked in the door. Or vice versa. I think he called me. And I said, I just walked in the door. So we talked about our tournaments. And I said, I beat Ferdinand Hellers. I had black. That was all that he knew. And he said over the phone, Queen A4? Now, this was in 1990. It wasn't like games were on the internet. You could follow stuff live. You didn't know what happened in a game for months. So somehow he knew this position occurred, and he knew that he played Queen A4. Because I said I beat Hellers in 23 moves. I've never seen this position, but anyway, he said he had this position in Lyon. And his opponent played like Queen E2 or Rook E1, and they drew at some point. And he said they were talking about Queen A4, and they realized that it lost. So he figured if I won quickly against a GM, it must have been Queen A4 in this position. By the way, Luke Winans beat Carlsen when Carlsen was a kid. And Luke Winans was beating Karpov, and then he blundered twice and lost when Karpov was good. Thanks, Smurfette. Thanks, Elena, for rating with a party of 102. Go, Elena. Go, party of 102. Everybody give a shout out to Elena, even if you can't. Also, my hype train's not doing so well, so somebody hook me up. Yay, raid. I hope you had a good stream. Thanks for raiding. So if you're coming as a raider, we're looking at my best games from 1990. And we're in the middle of like the 5th or 6th game. GM Smurfat gifted a tier 2 sub to Mia Khalifa. It's their first gift sub in the channel. Thank you. Take care, Elena. Thank you. Mia Khalifa was in the news recently. She said something about marriage, like marriage is bad or marriage is good. I forgot. And then people got mad at her. In fact, most of the people who got mad at her didn't know what she said. They just said whatever she said, like, is no good. I totally forgot what she said about marriage. But she said something. And then people were like, boo, boo. You shouldn't talk about marriage. Boo. So, was she the Wiz Khalifa because nobody beats her? Nobody beats the Wiz. That's right. Thanks, Puzzle Pawn, for 200 bits. There's an episode of Family Guy where they're talking about a porn star. Just a sec. I have to figure out which one it was. It's an Asian porn star. That doesn't help. But Peter's talking about her. And then the guy says, I don't know who that is. And he says, yes, you do. Then later in the episode, he mentions her again. And the guy says, I don't know who that is. He says, yes, you do. Asia Carrera? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember who it was. It was just like, Peter's like, no, you know who that is. Stop lying. I think you know who that is. Who that was. That's right, Seal Smith. Actually, I think it was Asa Akira. I think that's right. I think it was Asa Akira. I think so. And then there was like, I don't know who that is. And he says, yeah, I think you know who that is. Yay, level 2. Go us. Will we get to 1,000 subs today? The answer is no. Asa Akira was on the Eric Andre show. Eric Andre shows was good. I thought he said Asia Carrera. No, I think Asa Akira's right. I mean, you can look on the internet, which porn star did Peter reference, and then, some page will have it. Jay Bruz gifted a sub. I know you don't coach anymore, but I want you to know my game has massively improved since I stopped trying. Excellent. I actually do coach. I started coaching last week because we're broke. So then I had to make some more money. I think it was Asa Hutchinson. That's who it was. Imagine if he was a porn star. Then get some votes. Come on, hype train. 65% is close to 100. So you carry the 35% away. I used to make a lot of money on the stream, and then we started having people giving 1 bit. So I can't pay the rent with 1 cent. Also, I don't have any rent, but that's not the point. Okay, so Queen A4 undefends the knight on D2. So that's a mistake because it's only defended by this knight. And as somebody in the chat pointed out, I can kick that knight. Kick it. Thanks, Fen Beingold. Thanks, Puzzle Pawn. So when I saw that this move wins a piece and my opponent gets a lot of compensation, so I thought it was a sacrifice. So when I played here, he put his head down and shook his head like 20 times. Then I assumed it wasn't a sacrifice. Know what I mean? Yeah. So if he plays bishop g3, I play g4, and I'm going to win one of his knights. So he did play bishop g3. I did play g4. It says I'm plus 2.7 here. He played rook a d1. Now my queen's attacked. Okay, and I played well. I used to be good in 19.9. I'm not good now, but I used to be good. I played the best move here, knight h5, attacking the defender of his knight. He played queen c6. I played knight takes g3, which is the best move. Played h takes. I played the best move again, bishop b7. My rook's attacked, but I want to trade pieces because my king is open. Then he played queen here. I played king g7, which is the best move. All right. Now, this I don't understand. I still don't understand it. I've never understood this, but I'm gonna understand it now. Knight to c6 isn't good. No. In this position, my opponent played rook d3, ostensibly to defend the g-pawn, which I can take now because the f-pawn's pinned. But if I take that g-pawn, he could take my bishop. So I can't take I can't take it. So I don't understand why he doesn't defend his pawn with rook e1. Oh, no, I still can't take it. Like the engine, no matter what engine it is, if it's a 1990 engine or a 2023 engine, they never play rook e1, either one, to defend this pawn. And I don't know why. They just let me take it. And he did too. All right, let me play this and see what happens. It says like rook here. All right, I don't know. What? Okay, anyway, he played rook d3, which the engine says is better than rook fe1. And I took, and we traded. Now I'm going to play rook e2. So he played rook d2. I doubled rooks, and he resigned. Now, so I won in 23 moves against a much higher rated player. He was way higher rated than me. He's a GM, etc. And I was an IM. I just became an IM like 3 months previous. Now, here's what I remember about the end of this game. I showed this game to my my friends in the guest house. I was staying at a guest house in Reykjavik. The other members of the guest house were Tomas Ernst, who was an IM, but he later became a GM. We called him the Hitman. Tomas the Hitman Ernst. That's not a joke. That's what we called him. Called him the Hitman. Sorry, I didn't make it up. And then James Howell, who you've never heard of because you've heard of David Howell. But David Howell wasn't alive, so he wasn't there. James Howell was a British IM who I think quit chess because I haven't heard of him in 30 years. And then when Keith Arkell and Susan Arkell were married, they were staying at the guest house also. And then later, she divorced Keith and she married Bogdan Lalich, another grandmaster, and they're still married, I think. So anyway, the point of the story is, in the evening, when our games were done, we'd be at the guest house and we would show each other our games if we thought they were interesting. So me beating a grandmaster in 23 moves of black was interesting. So I showed them, and all they could say was, he resigned here? They were shocked that he resigned here. Very insulting to me. The engine says I'm plus 4.67. I mean, I'm up a piece for nothing. And my rook's coming to the 7th rank, and you can't hold the 7th rank because your F-pawn's hanging. Like, if I play rook E2, you can't play rook D1 because I play bishop takes F2 check. So I'm going to have a rook sitting on the 7th rank with an extra piece. And he has no passed pawns. So that's obviously resignable. They were shocked he resigned against me, a player of my caliber. So, yeah, the truth hurts. Okay, next game, somebody do a thing. A marker. Since 1996, he's been inactive. That's a pretty long time. Okay, this was played in Dortmund in 1990, since every game was played in 1990. Thanks, Puzzle Pawn. And this was a German IM and tournaments in Germany. I think we were on the same team. He played on my Dortmund team. My team was him, Keitlinghaus, Tasing, Schmidt-Deal. Who's that guy that wrote a lot of crazy books? He played crazy openings that he made up. He was a German IM. And what's funny is, in real life, he played really boring and drew every game. Bucher, that's right, Stefan Bucher. Very good Puzzle Pawn. I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, so my team was Schmidt-Deal on 1, and I was on board 7. We were all IMs. Schmidt-Deal later became a GM. I later became a GM. And, no, it was Meinke's brother. There's brothers in Germany in 1990 named Meinke, M-A-I-N-K-A, and the lower-rated one played on our team. The higher-rated one played on somebody else's team. The higher-rated one was Romuald or something. R-O-M-A-U-L-D. I forgot what his brother's name was. Anyway, these are... Okay, so Bernstein was on my team, and we played in Dortmund because, it's a round robin. So, okay. And I don't remember playing this move order. I didn't play this opening, but he played here, so we transposed into a Caro-Kann. I always thought this was a Caro-Kann. I never knew it was by transposition. Huh. Surprised I played that way. Okay, so when I was black in the Caro-Kann, this is the way I played. And most people in this position play the move E6. That's like 85% of games. But I always played knight B6, which doesn't have a good reputation. There's a famous Anand game where he crushes somebody in this line. I mean, this was in 1990. I'm sure there's many more games since. What am I, Yasser Seirawan over here? Okay, so he played bishop E3. D5 is also a move, which I've also faced. Castles. And this line is supposed to be good for white. And this was like the end of my knowledge, was this position. This engine says it's equal. But in practice, I think it's hard to play black. I had black a lot, and I would win occasionally, but, it's because my opponents were low-rated. This guy was the same rating as me. So, okay, he played king b1, obviously. I castled. Okay, f4 is the engine move. Knight b4, the engine says is fine. Rook e5, the engine says is fine. Bishop d6 is okay. Not the best move. Okay, rook g5 is a blunder. He should play rook e4. That defends his f-pawn and attacks my knight. Then it says he has a slight advantage. This just blunders a pawn, so I took it. Now I'm up a pawn. Go, Ben. So I saw rook c5, queen d6. I don't even see it now. Huh? Oh, do I take and play rook c8? And then if rook c4, I have queen d1. I saw that? I don't see nothing now. Like right now, I'm looking at this. And then I go... Oh, I could play here. That's probably what I saw. I probably saw queen b6. I probably didn't see rook here, a queen here, queen takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook c8. Maybe I did. And then if he defends his queen, I made him here. Maybe I saw that. It's more likely I saw this. This is winning. Okay, so he played rook g4. I took, he took, knight back to c6. I'm just a pawn up here for no compensation. So he can sack his rook and the other rook, but then he's down a rook. So play bishop g2, rook a c8, taking. That doesn't look good. Queen d7. Why did I play queen d7? Is it the best move? It's one of the best moves. It's like tied for first. e4. Rook c5 is the best move. Rook g5 is the best move. Queen d4 is the best. Rook d8 is the best. Queen d3. Rook d7 is the best move. This is an easily winning rook and pawn ending because I can create a pass pawn on the king side here, and his king is cut off. He doesn't really have any counterplay. Yeah, I just play h6. The engine wants me to play f6 because then I get two connected pass pawns, and his one isn't dangerous. But never play f6. Yeah, and if you thought it was surprising that that Heller's resigned, now my opponent resigned here, which surprised me, but there's just nothing White can do. I just walk my king up here and push my pawn. White's king can't come over. He can't attack any of my pawns. So there's just nothing. Yeah, this says I'm plus 4.5. He just has no counterplay. I just go here and here and push my pawn and take this. He can't do anything about either one of them. Yeah, but in 1990, those weren't the best moves because engines weren't so good then. So I couldn't have been cheating unless I came from the future. Imagine if, like, Morphy came from the future, like, future from now, too, like, further. And then he took, like, a bad computer with him that played, like, 2400 strength. And he was cheating with that. Nobody would suspect because, you know, those didn't exist. No wonder he's so good. No wonder Morphy's winning a million games in a row. Big money, no whammy, stop. 1990. Did you play more poker or bridge in the 90s? More bridge. Although, wait a minute. Well, like 1999 to 2002. Thanks, Kolarafa. It's almost 3 a.m. No. Thanks for the donations, guys. Probably in the late 90s, like 99, 2000, probably I played more poker. But I played more bridge in the early 1990s. I'm not even sure I played poker in the early 1990s. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, in 1999 and 2000, I used to go to the Diamond Club every once a week in New York City, sometimes twice a week. And we would go to Atlantic City like every other weekend. So in 99 and 2000, I played a lot of poker. And then 2000, 2001, 2002, I played a lot at Casino Windsor and Motor City Casino and MGM Grand. Queen B6, Rook B5. Man, that's a long time ago. A long time ago. Then I have Queen G6 check. And Queen C6. They both win immediately, threatening your rook. Here I'm threatening your king. It says this is better. Now you resign because your king is in trouble. Also, Queen C6 wins because it attacks your rook. Now, Teddy KGB's is based on the Mayfair Club, which I did not play in. I played in the Diamond Club. They were competing poker clubs, and for some reason, I just played at the Diamond Club. And who's my good friend? James Alltoucher. Thanks, Fen Beingold. 10,000 bits. That red thing moves around a lot. Yay, thanks for the support. That's a huge donation. James Alltoucher, who's been on my stream before, at least once, probably twice, he used to play at the Mayfair at the same time. So we never met there, which is funny. In 86, we both played in the US Open, and he says we spoke there. And then in 1999, 2000, he used to go to the Mayfair all the time, and I would go to the Diamond Club all the time. So that was funny. And then Giuliani closed them both down. Truth hurts. But Giuliani got his comeuppance. All right, let's see how the Braves are doing. They were up 2-1. Now they're up 4-1 in the ninth inning. Well, that's better. Oh, no, they were up 3-1 when I stopped watching. Wow, so Strider pitched 7 innings and gave up 4 hits, and he struck out 9. He must have had a lot of pitches because he had a lot of pitches after the first inning. Doesn't say how many pitches he had. He had 34 pitches after the first inning, and he pitched 7 full innings. That's crazy. He must have pitched like 110 pitches at least. If we hang on, we clinch the division. What's more likely? I play a match with Magnus and I lose, or the Braves win the division? Have you seen the Calvin Blocker emote? I have not. Strider is 17-5 this year and leads the league in strikeouts, and he leads the league in number of wins. That's pretty good. Most wins in baseball, most strikeouts in baseball. And he's like a second-year player. I have watched Australia Football League, yes, when I lived in Belgium, probably on BBC. Australian rules football. The referees wore all white, and they would make different signs when something good happened, which was funny. Yeah, I liked watching Australian rules football. Okay, next game, marker. Okay, here we're starting at the end of the game, and if I pronounce the last guy's name correctly, it's Lothar Vogt. Vogt. So basically the game is Vogt versus you, me. Lothar Vogt was from East Germany, from the DDR. 1990, East Germany still existed. So, you got to watch it. This was in Dortmund. Actually, maybe in 1990, he was considered German instead of East German. I'll never know. It's too long ago. I don't remember. We were in Berlin for a match, and we wanted to go to East Berlin, but they closed the border in the Berlins because Gorbachev was visiting East Berlin. So they wouldn't let anybody from the West go to East Berlin. And we were going to. Our team was going to go. We played a match in West Berlin. That's when the wall was still up. And my favorite story, which I've told ad infinitum, is my Bundesliga coach. He owned the team. I just had his name in my mouth and now I forgot it. Jürgen Grosstadt. He was the sponsor of our team. He was the manager. He was the leader. I'd stay at his house in Dortmund when we played matches in Dortmund. And I asked him, I said, is the wall ever going to come down? And he said, the wall will never come down. Roar! The next day, they tore down the wall. You can't make that up. Truth hurts. It's pronounced Vogt. Who's ad infinitum? That's how much you donated with 10,000 bits. That's ad infinitum. Okay, so in this position, I played King G1. The engine says I'm winning, even though he has two pieces for a rook, because I have an extra pawn. His pawns are all weak, and most importantly, his knight is pinned. So if his rook moves horizontal, I have rook f4 check, and he actually loses his knight. So he should play either bishop c6 or rook f5. And it says I'm plus 2.3 or something like that. Okay, anyway, my opponent blundered. He played the move you're all going to be proud of. He was in time trouble. He played rook takes g2 check, confusing the audience. I am teaching again. Most of my students are under 1,000. Yeah, I already have 4 students, or 5. I only wanted 4. I don't blunder. You blunder every move. My rate is a lot. I don't take any more students. I only wanted 4 students. Based on how often people donate and how much, nobody who watches my stream, except for Fen Beingold, can afford my lessons. Shouldn't you have 20 students? I don't want 20 students. I want 4 students. 20 students means I would have no free time in my whole life ever. I would be teaching all day and streaming all night. Want to do that? Will you ever commentate on Tyler One's games? I still don't know who that is, and no. I get asked about him a lot on the stream. I guess you guys know who he is. Okay, so this move loses. I take. He goes here. Now it's white's to play and win. White only has one way to win. At what range do you think having a coach is most useful? It's always useful. Do you hand out homework to your students? Or do you analyze their games with them? Neither. And you spelled there wrong. That's the wrong there. Homework is always stupid. It's stupid teaching chess, and it's stupid when you're in school. You should never have homework in school. That's just a dumb thing. You go in school, you do schoolwork. When you're home, you're at home. If you want to do stuff and you have a chess coach, do stuff. Then tell your chess coach about it. I shouldn't be telling you what to do. You should be doing stuff on your own. Yeah, whoever invented homework is just stupid. It's a stupid thing. There's a lot of stupid things in the world. I always feel like I'm in the wrong world because there's people who aren't vegan and there's people who are religious. And that's like 90% of the world is one or both of those, not vegan or religious. And those are like idiotic. So I just born in the wrong like world. I don't know which is dumber. I guess religion is, but also people vote for Republicans. I mean, that's dumber than the other two. Voting against people who are against your interests. Unbelievable. Who are incredibly dumb, incredibly evil, or both. But this is the world I was born into. I have to survive in a world where I can't believe people aren't vegan. I can't believe people are religious. And I can't believe people vote for Republicans. I can't believe it. It's like three of the stupidest things ever. That's the world I live in. I have to live in the world. I don't know what else to do. Terrible. There's a lot of other dumb stuff in the world, but those are just three of my least favorites. You stole my Jesus fish. That's right. Man, Quadruple Digit at Last has about the same number of Seinfeld references as Lawful Waffle. I'm getting suspicious. Like they're the same person. Right, if Levy becomes a GM, I live in a world where Levy's a GM. That also doesn't make sense. Okay, so I play Rook takes E7, which some people said, and then King F3. Now here, my opponent made a bad move. It doesn't matter, he can resign. But when I say it's a bad move, what I mean is your last chance is to play King F7. And the reason is, which I saw when I played Rook E7, the reason is White only has one winning move here. Yay, go Karen. GM Smurfette has a point. H5 is correct. If you play anything else, King G6 is a draw. But H5 wins. Now, what's funny is he played Bishop takes E4 check and his flag fell. And it was move 40, but you have to make move 40 with your flag up. It was like 40 moves in 2 hours or something. So he was in time trouble at the end. But when his flag fell, he can be very happy to know that he was completely lost. So at least that's good. You are a sub. It doesn't ding when you sub because we got rid of that. It never dings when anybody subs. Okay, next game, you guys do your thing. This was played in Reykjavik 1990, the same as my game with Ferdinand Heller, same tournament. This might have been the next round. I forgot Ding was the world champion in my last lecture. I referred to Magnus Carlsen as the world champion. I forgot Ding was the world champion. Ding was supposed to play in one of these big blitz events chess.com has. Then the day before he dropped out. Blah, 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 002 gifted a sub. Hooray. Ding's barely a world champion. That's right. I'm barely a GM. He's barely a world champion. That's right. Thanks for the sub. Go, everybody. He was afraid he might be Kramnik. Then he'd be Kamsky next round. Man, it'd be tough. That world champion's cheating. Let's see if the Braves won 6-1 or whatever they were up. 4-1. They were up something. 4-1 final. Good, good. Now the Braves are 95-50. The Braves have a better road record than home record, and they're both really good. They're excellent. They've lost 25 games at home and 25 on the road, and they've won 40. Is it 46 and 44? No, it's 48. It's 49 and 47. No, 46. They've won 2 more games on the road than they have at home, and they have the same number of losses. Thanks, Puzzle Pawn. Phillies fans are booing their celebration. Yeah. Phillies fans are tough. 96-50 now. That is correct. Yeah, they've won 49 games on the road and 47 games at home. And they've lost 25 in both. Philly's a really good city if you're a vegan. A lot of vegan restaurants in Philly. You can even get a vegan Philly cheesesteak, which I did. I'm creating a course now, Mighty Gopher. It'll come out in November. It's on the Sicilian, how to play black in the Sicilian starting out. For players like 800 to 1600 in that range. Okay, this is my game with Tukmakov. This is one of my favorite games ever. He played the Dutch, and I played the Feingold Gambit. I made up this gambit. So everybody plays bishop h4 here. I play bishop f4, and now I play e4. I'm something like 6-0 at this in slow chess. So if knight takes e4, which most of you would play, then queen h5 check leads to mate. So he played f takes e4 because he's a Soviet grandmaster. Knight c3, and I've had this position, and most people take on f3, and he played bishop f5, engine approved. The engine says black is much better. Played g5, engine doesn't like that. Wow, the engine says knight d5 is strong. I never knew that. Knight d5 is the best move. Wow. I've never analyzed this with a good engine. The third best move is king d7? Damn, harsh. So the idea is if he takes and I take, I check and win his bishop. And his pawns are all weak and his king's exposed. Wow, knight d5. I never saw that. Also, I'm threatening this. So you got to do something. It says knight takes d5, king d7, and then white's only ahead 0.65. After this, I have to play bishop e5 or I'm worse. And this is slightly better for white. All right, I didn't see knight d5. In fact, if I played this game again, I still wouldn't play knight d5. I showed you, computer. Okay, so did you guys do a marker for this game? You better. Okay, so bishop e5. He played knight bd7. That's the engine move. I played knight b5. He took. That's the engine move. He played knight g4. That's the engine move. I played bishop e2. That's the engine move. He played knight takes e5. The engine wants him to take on d1 and says he's better. After this, he's still better, but not as much. Okay, now he blundered. He's got 3 legal moves, and he played the second best one. What's the best legal move for black? He didn't do it. He said that he would do it, but he didn't. So one move's illegal, one move is not a move, and one move is not a move. Then we have the right answer. Man, tough chat. Okay, he should play bishop g6. That's the best move. He played knight f7. Now he's losing, it says. I played knight e2. That's the only winning move. He played e6. I played the best move, g4. He played the only move, bishop h7. And now this is a move that I'm proud of because it's an unusual move. Normally, if I want to put pressure, I would castle. But the problem with castling is he plays bishop c5 check, and then he castles. So I played rook f1. Now he played the only move. This move's funny. Knight g6 is the worst move. Boo, boo. Knight g6, I've never seen such a bad move. I've been playing chess for 48 years. G4 just win immediately? Yeah. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. And I've seen Mr. Belvedere naked. Yeah, that's, you're banned. Okay, now in this position, he made the best move. Extra cheese project is correct. I saw a St. Louis lecture yesterday with that exact idea. Was it from you? I haven't lectured in St. Louis for 8 years. Okay, then he played bishop g8 as recommended by the audience. Now the Soviet school of chess says you should play like this and have your only piece develop pinned. I played knight d4, attacking the e-pawn. You can't defend the e-pawn with the queen because I'll take it anyway. So if you play queen here, I take. And if you take, you lose your queen. So how did he defend his d-pawn, his e-pawn? The answer is funny. Queen takes queen and bishop g8 is so bad. Did somebody like log into Bonarici's account and they're like punking me? Queen takes d1, rook takes d1. Now knight takes c7 is a threat. God. All right. Yeah, don't suggest any more moves, Bonarici. Go feed your cat or something. Okay, so he played king e7. That's correct. This is the Soviet school of chess. Go Tukhmakov. Tukhmakov used to work with Caruana. God damn. After this game, because Caruana wasn't born yet. Wait, was Caruana born in 1990? I don't think so. I don't think he was born yet. Okay, so I played queen e2. Obviously, white's winning. Black's position is frankly ridiculous. Knight d6. Castles is the best move. King d7 is the best move. The engine wants me to play bishop f7. Even though that's defended twice. I took with the bishop, which is the engine move. I played queen e4. He played king c8. That's the engine move. I played knight b5. That's the engine move. Played rook h7. That's the engine move. I played bishop e8. Bishop e8's the engine move? What? I got to show you the engine line just to show you how computers think differently than we do. And why can't he take on... Oh, if he plays queen takes knight, I play rook f8. After a6, the engine move is rook b6. So I'm threatening queen b7. If he takes my rook, knight d6 check wins his queen. So bishop e8 was the best move. Okay, I played rook d3. That's the second best move. Played a6. I took. That's correct. I played rook d to f3. That's the best move. Threatening rook f8. King c7 is the best move. Bishop f7 is the best move. It says I'm plus 4.5. He played rook c8. I took on e6. That's a good move. He took. I took his rook. And now I'm just winning easily. What's funny is I blundered a pawn later. It wants him to take this, and it says I'm plus 5. Yeah, in this position, I was in time trouble. I played here so my queen would get back into the game. I didn't see bishop takes pawn. I didn't see my pawn was attacked. What should I play here? I could take his pawn. I thought I won enough material I shouldn't be taking pawns on h6. Queen e4 is the best move. Like the engine says queen takes h6, but I don't care about that. Queen e4, that's even better than queen b3. Okay, he took. Doesn't change the evaluation. I got my king safe. Yeah, if he plays queen takes h2, he gets mated very quickly. So he played queen e4. I played rook f7. Bishop f5. I played a4, getting my king even safer. The truth hurts. Yay, my king safe on a2. And then this was move 40 for me. He stopped mate on b7, and this was my 40th move, rook f8. That was a fun 40th move to play. I probably had like 2 minutes left. And now he has to resign. Now, what's funny about this game is we analyzed the game afterwards, and he had like the Soviet contingent there analyzing with him on his side. And it was me, I was all alone. And they kept suggesting improvements for me. Like in the middle game, why didn't you go here? And he was getting madder and madder because I blew him off the board basically, and they weren't helping him. They were like, oh, you could have won even easier. But what they said was wrong. But he was mad at them. He started yelling at them in Russian. Like, help me, don't help him. Like, I lost. What should I have done better? But they were having fun attacking him with his king on e7. They were sacking and, trying to get the king exposed. Where's Karen tonight? She's upstairs. Okay, last game. This is the funniest game because I beat a famous person when they were like an FM or an IM. Now they're a famous GM. They're famous not because of their chess play. They're famous because of who they are. And that was against Peter Heine Nielsen. I played him in Capella Grand in 1990. That's how old we are. He was a kid. I remember him being tall. I remember that. I'm sure he has no recollection of playing me because we played in 1990. And I was an IM. I'd just become an IM. He was 2340 FIDE. Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus's coach. That's correct. It's SEN, but you were close, Puzzle Pawn. You get credit because you donated. Yeah, you're still close. Peter was 2,700. Peter Hans Niemann. That's correct. Now, if somebody finally got it right. Oh, they spelled Niemann wrong, as per usual. He's not very famous. Incorrect. Bonarici, you don't know who's famous because you like sit at home like a hermit and you look at news on Twitch. So you don't really know who's famous. You're not the one to ask. Yeah. He's Magnus Carlsen's coach, and he's very outspoken on Twitter. So, very famous. Everybody knows he's Magnus's coach. His Twitter is very spicy. Ugh. Everybody spells Niemann wronger and wronger. How does one coach the world's best player? Well, I don't coach the world's best player. Why are you asking me? Why does Djokovic have a team of people around him? Why do baseball players who are the best baseball players in the world have managers and coaches? Your question is, this is why I don't understand the world I live in. In every sport, in every game, everybody good has a coach. Then you're like, why does Magnus have a coach? He's Magnus. And you're probably not a vegan. You might be a Republican. You might be religious. I can't take it. Yay, we have lots of people watching. Okay, this is my last game against Peter Heine Nielsen, 1990. This had a really good ending. The first 30 moves of the game, the engine says we both played terribly. But the last 6 moves of the game, that's the important part of the game. Okay, so he played the King's Indian. I used to play D5. It says this is equal. Wants me to play Bishop F1. Always play Bishop F1. E takes F5 is the best. Knight E2 is the best. Queen E2 is okay. This wants me to play F3, but never play F3. Now it says F3 and F4 are equal. I played F4. You always want to play F4 here and keep this bishop blocked in. Queen E7. FE5 is correct. I'm actually playing well this game. Rook E1 is okay. King H1 is okay. C5 is a big blunder, it says. It says now white has a big advantage. Now, in 1990, I was slightly more aggressive than I am now. And by slightly, I mean way more aggressive. So the engine says I should play A3 or Bishop F4, but you will know my name is the Lord when I play crazy move. Man, the engine's not going to like this move. God damn. I'm afraid to play it. I think we're just going to stop now because I don't want to play this move. No, I played G4. God damn. No, the engine says I'm still better. That didn't lose much of an advantage. I want the E4 square. I want my knights to go to E4. Okay, he played FG. That's the engine move. I played knight DE4. The engine wants my other knight to go to D4. Bishop G5. Now it says it's equal because that's stupid, it says. I played knight F6 check. That's the engine move. Now it wants him to take this, and it says it's equal, but he played King H8, and it says I'm much better. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Probably time trouble. Yeah, this looks good for white. Knight D6 is the best move. Good. Setting up for the next game. Good. Now, in this position, I played knight Fe4, but the engine move is queen D3. So if he takes my queen, I have mate. And if it's my move, I could play queen takes queen and mate. So he has to play bishop E8 here. It's a funny move. Or E4. It says I'm +2. Okay, I played knight Fe4. He played king G8. I played bishop F6. B6. Take. It says this is good for white. It says he should play G3 here. Knight C6 is the second best move, but it's a bad move. So it wants me to take the knight, and then after bishop takes, play queen G2, and it says I'm +2. Then I could play king G1, queen E2, and get out. Okay, but I played queen H4, which is the second best move. Now it's equal. Now he played the only move that equalizes. What's the only move for black here that equalizes? Man, he must have been pretty good. No wonder he got to 2,700. See, the idea of queen H4 is if he plays the obvious knight D4, I just play queen E7 check and win his bishop. Oh, this game wasn't played in Capelle-Legrand. This game was played in Ostend. That's a seaside resort in Belgium. Bishop f5 is correct. Good job, Maxims. Okay, I played knight g3. That's the engine move. Now if he takes my knight, this wins his queen. He played bishop d7. I played knight d to e4. Played bishop here, that's okay. Knight f2 is best. Knight d4 is best. Queen e7 check is best. Now he made a bad move. He should play queen f7, although obviously giving away this pawn with check doesn't look like something you should do. He played king h6, that's a mistake. Now I made a mistake. He wants me to play king g2. What the hell? I played d6. Oh, it says I'm still much better. Now he blundered. He has to play queen e6, and then it says I'm up 0.4. But he blundered with knight c6. Now he loses immediately. And now we can play the theme from Jefferson's. Because he's going to be moving on up to the king's side. Check. He can't play queen g7 because his bishop's hanging. So he has to play king g5. d7 exclam. Is that exclam? Yes. d7 is the best move. Now I'm threatening d8 with advantage. And if his bishop takes, that gives me the e4 square for my knights. Well, you can't let me queen, because then I win. You can't play queen f6, because this wins your queen. Also, this wins your queen. So he took. Now I check. Now this loses his queen. So he played king h4. Now I have several forced mates. King g2 and king g1 are both mate in 9. But I played queen f2, which is mate in 16. So it's still good. The best move is king h3. God damn. That's the best move. He played queen e8. I played queen f6 check. King h3, mate. And then he became 2,700, and I begged for bits at a time on my stream. He became Magnus's coach, 2,700, one of the most famous chess players Bonarici hasn't heard of. And I sit here teaching chess to Bonarici. No. He must have been pretty young in 1990. I'm probably 10 years older than him. I mean, if I'm 10 years older than him, that doesn't make any sense. That means he was like 10. Let me see how old he is. Peter Heine Nielsen is a Danish chess trainer and player who Bonarici hasn't heard of. He became a grandmaster in 94. This was played in 1990. He has a record 9 consecutive world chess championships as a coach, working with Anand 4 times and working with Carlsen 5 times. Oh, he's 50. I'm only 4 years older than him. So he was 16 and I was 20 when this game, or he was born in May. So he was 17 and I was 21 when this game was played. Peak rating 2,700. Also, he's a good shogi player. He won the Danish Shogi Championship. He achieved the mark of 2 dan. His wife is also a grandmaster who used to be married to somebody else, I think. She's one of the top politicians in Lithuania. She's like the equivalent of like a senator. And she's also a grandmaster, Victoria Camiltier Nielsen. And I can't pronounce her actual name. Notable games. I wonder if it's the game he lost to me. What? It's just a game that he won in the Danish Championship? Terrible. The Danish Shogi Championship, hotly contested. That's not how you spell her name, Puzzle Plum, but you're close. Hotly contested. That's good. Somebody taught me how to play Go not shogi, but Go, when I was like 17. And I never knew how to play. When they taught me how to play, I still didn't know. Okay? Like, I still don't know. I didn't know when they were teaching me, after they taught me. I have no idea what's going on. And he said it's very rare for a Go game to end in a draw. And he was playing Go with his friend, and they played 2 consecutive draws. He said it's like 1%. But they did it twice in a row, just to show me that, numbers don't matter. Man, those guys run a lot of drugs. Not sometimes, all the time. Yeah, this guy, he spotted me 9 stone, and he said that's like queen odds, and then I lost by like 100 points or something. I still don't know how to play. I remember the end thing, he's like, I control this territory. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, let me show you. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what the rules are. And the way he made it seem like it was obvious who won certain territory. Well, look, obviously I won. I'm like, what? Ain't obvious to me, bitch. Anyway, my opponent resigned, or I got checkmated. So he didn't resign. This was move 40, so he probably had seconds left. I'm sure he has no recollection of even playing me and doesn't remember this game at all. That would be my guess. Because I wasn't anybody of note, and he was only 17. So I don't know why he would remember this game. I didn't even know. I knew that I beat Nielsen, but I didn't know it was him until a few years ago. I just thought it was some guy named Nielsen. I didn't know it was the famous guy. And so forth. That's right, he has nightmares. Nightmares. I wonder what it says about this game. If we can do something. How do you do a thing to it? I can't do a cap score with this game? I don't see how to do it. Well, if you can, then I'll make it easy. That doesn't help. He taught this game to Magnus, and that's why Magnus is as good as he is now. He said, Magnus, don't move your king up like this and get mated. I remember we were in time trouble, and it was very tense. I remember that. I should be able to do a review of the game, but I can't. But I should be able to. That's correct. If I save the game, I don't know how to save the game. Save games. Select collection. Ben 1990. I still don't know what to do. I give up. Make him tell you live. How would he know? He's the boss man. He doesn't know such silly things. Anyway, it's probably bad. And if I showed Kramnik this game and said I beat Peter Hein Nielsen, he'd say, you're cheating. He's 2,700. You would never beat him like this. And he'd be right. Man, Kramnik was good in 1990. Damn. And Kramnik's only 2 years younger than Peter. Peter is tremendous in stature. He's huge. He's big and he's big. He's like 8 feet tall and 1,000 pounds. He's bigger than Bill Brasky. I think Peter Hein Nielsen is taller than Kramnik. I'm not sure though. Or I'll ask on Twitter, see if I get a response quickly. I probably won't because they're probably asleep now. He definitely weighs more than Kramnik. I thought Kramnik had a Twitter account. Is it Vlad? What's Kramnik's Twitter handle? Thanks, Alyssa Zhu, for rating me. Who's Bill Brasky? Don't you remember SNL from 25 years ago? Oh wait, here it is. No, he didn't tag him. I thought Kramnik like a year ago got a Twitter account. Let's see. 14th world champion. These posts are protected. Okay, so it's VB Kramnik, so I have to change my post, which I can't do. Can you edit posts yet? Let's see. Where's my post? I'm too old for this. Edit with premium. Well, I definitely don't have that. All right, delete. No, I wanted to delete. Yeah, I don't type very well. I need a dialing wand. All right, finally the post was sent. Now, if somebody answers in the next few seconds, we'll know. I think Nielsen's taller, but maybe he's not. I think he is. Let me ask Peter. Kramnik's like 6'5", so if Peter says more than 6'5", why isn't Peter watching now? Somebody do exclaim. Oh, he did 923 subs. Well, that's good. We're trying to break 900 every day. So I don't stream tomorrow, but probably Karen's going to stream live poker, although 5-minute delay. That's probably going to happen tomorrow night, but I won't be involved. I'm giving a lesson tomorrow. Go, Ben. And I'm going to the doctor tomorrow morning for blood work. They'll say, just hang loose, blood. Then they'll tell me all my numbers are bad and what's wrong with you. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. What time GMT? I don't know. I mean, if I just tell you the correct time, you can look it up and see what it is in GMT. You should know the Eastern time. That's the correct time. The whole world of all importance lives in Eastern time. Come on. And basically, the only thing that matters is like here in Roswell. It'll be in the evening, so it'll be like probably 3 a.m. GMT. What time Cairo time? Yeah, about 3 a.m. Roswell, Georgia is better, but you misspelled both of them. You did spell New Mexico and Georgia correctly, so that's good. You spelled Roswell, like Ross. Roswell, 1 S. I can't believe Peter hasn't answered me. What? How can I text somebody and they don't answer me? Let's see if on X there's an answer. They liked the post, but they didn't answer it. Terrible. These posts are protected. Only confirmed followers have access. Mine is pending. Man. He's been on Twitter for 3 years. I have a follow request to Kramnik, but he's never answered it. For years. Man, truth hurts. Yeah, it'll be like between 7 and 11 p.m. Eastern time. But I don't know when she's starting. She might start at 8. She might start at 6:30. She might start at 7:30. She might start at 8:30. She'll start when she wants to start. You should get a notice when we stream that it pops up. So I don't see what the issue is. I blame you. All right, somebody give 2 subs so I can stop streaming. I want to get to 925. Yeah, make sure you all switch places when I ring the bell. I only watched the first hour of the C-Squared podcast. So far, I like it. At one point, Kramnik did a faux pas. He was explaining about great players, and he said, you know, like the two of us. And he was talking about him and Fabi, and then Christian's just sitting there. The two of us, there's 3 people there. Man, the truth hurts. I guess they knew who he was talking about. The truth hurts. All right, we need 2 subs. Who's going to do it? I'll sit here all day. Kramnik is definitely going to be Hans's coach, except for one thing. There was a fake account where Hans said stuff about Topolov and Kramnik and so forth, but it wasn't actually Hans's account. So at first I told Karen about it, then I deleted it. Word to you. Thanks for the sub. Hooray, 924. It's pretty good. That was fake? Yeah, everything on the internet's fake. I mean, people think Hans is still cheating because he cheated his whole life. Doesn't mean he's cheating now. At some point, you can stop. Just a bit to charge my card to give 2 subs. What? That's correct. That's right. You're bad and you should feel bad. That is funny. Je suis très mort. Oh. You chat pretty well for somebody who's dead. Very dead. Come on, somebody do something interesting in the chat. All right, who am I going to raid? Let's see. I raid him every time. I could raid John Bartholomew. I never raid him. He's probably going to raid me soon. Raid an offline Hans. I could do that. All right. Nobody's going to give a sub, so I give up. Always give up. Man, did I spell his name right? Yay, a hype train is close. Thanks, Abdul Rahman 678. I might have to wait about rating. I don't follow Benjamin Bach? Oh, I do. He's not doing chess, but he raids me a lot, so. A hype train is close. Let's wait for the hype train. Go, Benjamin Bach. Yeah, he's the first person on my list to follow channels, but I didn't notice him. We're so close to a hype train. I'll never leave. Je suis très mort. Starting the hype train. Hooray. Now we can get 100 more subs instead of me logging off. We only need 73 subs. Fen Beingold give a sub to Extra Cheese Project. That cheese better be vegan. It is vegan cheese lately. Good, good. My brother's coming to visit on Saturday, so he might come on the stream Saturday night. Usually he does. Go Altman. Go hype train. I can't leave during a hype train. We could get to level 10. Go people. I hope you like those games. I think I'm going to do this on Wednesdays. I'll do 1991 next Wednesday and so forth. Then when I get to 2023, I'll have nothing to show you. Let's see what Karen says. Oh, it was Peter. I don't know, but tall. How tall is Nielsen? He said tall. I mean, Peter's 6'2", so if he thinks Peter Nielsen's tall, he's got to be tall. Jimbo Matthews gifted a sub. Hooray. Win versus Shaq as a bonus. I beat Shaq? Which do you think is more likely? That I beat Shaq in a tournament game, or I beat Shaquille O'Neal in a free throw shooting contest? Oh, snap. Thanks, Fen Beingold. Or I enter a beauty contest and I come ahead of Irina Shayk. Those are the options. Free throw for sure, since Heinz Superman. And the winner is Ben Feingold, and the silver goes to Irina Shayk. Yay, the free throws. I heard Irina Shayk is dating Tom Brady now. Date somebody. Man, the guy's always got those Seinfeld references in there. Good one, quadruple digit at last. Now you have a big waist. No. Let him talk. He's right. Go Hype Train. We're almost at level 3. Poise counts. Now let's practice. This Rhode Island, they never win. Now you have a nice figure, but you're a little big in the waist. What should I do? Tape your breasts together. No, the hype train ended. You showed Queen F8 mentioning won the bishop. Can't we just play Knight F5 directly? Probably. No, you're probably right. Yes. Yeah, this would be better than taking the queen, then taking the bishop. Yeah, frankly, my analysis was ridiculous. There's a football game tomorrow night, right? It's on like Amazon Prime. I forgot who's playing. But I can watch that because Karen will be streaming and we have Amazon Prime. All right, I'm going to wait. Okay, yeah, I'll raid Benjamin Bach. Is he still streaming? I don't want to raid an empty stream. Let me see if he's streaming. Yeah, he's playing some video game. Hero Wars. Good enough. I gotta give the fellow Benjamins their raids. All right, see you guys on Friday. Karen will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for all your support. Bye.